This is the EF ECOFLOW Delta Pro Ultra Portable Power Station. And looking at it in front of me, the first thing that strikes me is just how substantial it feels and looks. This isn't your average little power box you throw in the camper. This thing is a powerhouse. The unit is big and heavy, almost 300 pounds, sitting on 4 sturdy casters with locking wheels. Everything about the design suggests it was built for serious, long-term power needs. The main body feels solid, kind of like a high-end appliance that belongs in a home, not out in the elements. On top, there's a clear, simple display showing everything from watts in, watts out, and percentage of battery, which is great if you're like me and want all your key numbers front and center. From my first look, the Delta Pro Ultra blends industrial toughness with streamlined, user-friendly touches. Lots of ports on the front, a real 240-volt outlet, USB-C ports, classic AC plugs, and a big, well-lit screen. The handles on the sides are sturdy, and the battery section below the main unit stacks nicely, which makes expansion easier than I expected for something this size. When I first started considering a battery backup system, like a lot of people, I wondered, should I just build something myself? My answer, coming from a user who's tried DIY solar builds and run into snags, is that unless you really know what you're doing, a box like this is honestly a lifesaver. I've dealt with wiring headaches, equipment compatibility, and just things not working the way I hoped when piecing together different brands. The Delta Pro Ultra completely sidesteps that stress. You get the whole system, ready to roll right out of the box. Setting it up took me about half a day, and that includes moving it into place, which wasn't fun because of the weight. But after it's locked down where you want it, everything else is surprisingly simple. Plug it in, connect to the EcoFlow app if you want. Honestly, I'm not a big app user, so I use the onboard controls, and you instantly see where your battery levels are, incoming and outgoing power, and what's active. If you're new to this sort of thing, that's really helpful. I didn't feel like I was wrestling with complicated programming or navigating mysterious software just to get my power running. Let me talk about what it's like to actually use this thing. My top priority was reliable backup for the house in case of outages, without digging deep into my panel and rewiring the whole place. The Delta Pro Ultra delivers. With its 7200 watt AC output, I'm running my fridge, full-size freezer, and a few lights at the same time, with no issues. The most impressive part, for me, is that it delivers real 240-volt split-phase power, so major appliances like my central AC or big power tools work just like they're plugged into the grid. I even tried it with a welder and my plasma cutter, and it handled both. If you're someone who relies on heavy-duty equipment, this is a clear advantage. Key features that stand out for me. Start with capacity. One main battery holds 6,144 watts, and if you want more, you can expand with up to 5 batteries per inverter, stacking to a crazy 90 kilowatt-hours if you really go for it. That's a serious amount of energy storage. Most household blackouts, you're set for days, not hours. The wheels may seem like a small thing, but trust me, with the weight of this setup, being able to roll it into place and lock it down securely is a big help. The display is large and easy to read, so anyone in the house can check the power situation at a glance. The lithium iron phosphate battery inside, abbreviated as LiFePO4, gives you major peace of mind. If you're not familiar, this battery chemistry is safer, has a longer lifespan, and stands up better to regular cycling than plain lithium-ion. EcoFlow claims over 3,500 charge cycles before you even lose 20% of capacity, so in daily use you're looking at 10+ years of performance. I like knowing my investment isn't going to fade out in a few seasons. Another big plus is flexibility in how you charge. I tested both grid charging and solar. Plugged into the grid, the Pro Ultra charges up fast, full from empty in a bit under 3 hours for me, which is spot on with the specs. The solar PV ports are also generous, letting you throw a lot of panels at the thing for off-grid use. You can use both low and high voltage PV input, so charging is fast, even in cloudy weather if you've got enough panels. Not all power stations allow for this much input, or make it as easy to hook up. One detail I appreciate is the 240-volt outlet works from a single unit. You don't have to buy 2 inverters and wire them together, like other setups I've seen. If you've done backup battery shopping, you know how rare that is. The EcoFlow app is the main control hub if you want remote monitoring, which is not my usual style, but setting it up on my phone was straightforward. You can monitor what's on, tweak which circuits are a priority during outages, if you wire in EcoFlow's smart panel, and adjust other settings from anywhere. For people who like smart home features, it adds a comfort layer now to the things I wish were different. Weight is the obvious one. At nearly 300 pounds with the extra battery attached, Moving this around, even for short distances, took 2 adults and a lot of care. If you're putting it in a tight spot, get help or plan ahead. This isn't something you grab and toss in the trunk for a day trip. The price is up there. By the time you add expansion batteries or a smart panel, you're well into premium territory. I admit, when I first saw the price tag, I was hesitant. But looking back, I see it as an investment, especially if your area is prone to outages or you just want serious backup. Still, it won't be for everyone, especially if you only need to power a few items during an outage. Charging with an electric vehicle charger has limitations. EcoFlow advertises EV charging capacity up to 6,000 watts, which is great, but if you've got a high-amp EV or want truly rapid charging, you might find it slower than dedicated level 2 home chargers. For me, it's more of a handy bonus for emergencies, not a full-time EV charging replacement. Another issue, I did run into a couple of app glitches. Nothing major. A couple times the app froze and had to restart. But if you're big on using your phone to control everything, just know it isn't always perfectly smooth. Compatibility with fully grid-tied solar systems is another point to be aware of. If you already have a rooftop solar array connected to your house, integrating the Delta Pro Ultra into your existing system might not be plug and play. I spent a while researching connection options, and there can be extra cost if you want full home backup without rewiring or adding transfer switches. If you're starting from scratch or only want backup for specific appliances, it's simpler. The cooling system on here is impressively quiet, which I've grown to appreciate, especially compared to the whirring and humming you get from other home battery systems. I can place it anywhere in the house without worrying it will bother people, even if it's running hard. If you've got a home office or bedrooms nearby, that matters. Overall, in my opinion, the Delta Pro Ultra is about bringing professional-level backup power to regular homes in one box. It's perfect for anyone, like me, who doesn't want to mess with complicated installations, wants big capacity, and is serious about being prepared for power outages or off-grid use. The ability to power 240-volt appliances, expand for longer runtime, and run silently are all valuable, especially if you have medical equipment, work from home, or just want peace of mind. From my experience, I'd recommend this for anyone who wants true whole home backup without hiring out half the project or building a Frankenstein system from scratch. If you're a DIY enthusiast, you'll value the simplicity, and if you're new to home energy storage, the support and ease of use are huge advantages. In conclusion, the Delta Pro Ultra is not perfect, mainly because of its weight and price, but the peace of mind, reliability, and flexibility it gives me put it solidly ahead of other options I've looked at. If you need long-term, high-output backup power you can trust and want to avoid the confusion of piecing together parts, this is absolutely worth a look. I will leave detailed information about the Delta Pro Ultra in the comments for your reference. Thank you for watching.